welcome everybody. We are here going to be in the finals of the TQ LAN tournament. It is going to be awesome. We have two powerhouses. It is going to be cool. NOVAstalife, the Terran in the bottom left, going up against Blur in the top right. It is so cool. eSpot, Billiards and Arcades, thank you for being awesome and allowing this thing to happen. It is going to give us a great best of 5 final. I am tQzander, and along with me is...
Thunder Toss.
Yeah. Alright, so I am ecstatic for this. It is going to be so much fun. Thunder Toss, if you want to just start posting everywhere that we have Starlight versus Blur, that would be much appreciated because people should be watching this awesome match. I'm going to stop saying it's awesome and actually start trying to say productive things now. First of all is that you can understand my slight delirium. I've been casting for double digits in terms of hours now, and it's been amazing the entire time. However, it wears on the brain more than a little bit. We do have Starlife doing really good building placement with his barracks. It is TBT. We'll most likely have similar building times and building choices for the first couple minutes of the game. I could have just said similar build orders, but I like the way I said it before. Yeah. So, Blur is a very strong Terran player, as is Starlife. Starlife is very well known. Blur is very highly ranked. It is such a good matchup to really test their skills as a mirror matchup, and you really cannot make mistakes in mirror matches. You really can't make mistakes against Terran in general.
That's true.
Because generally, if you make a mistake against a Terran, your army evaporates. So watching a TVT is a great thing to see because you see one false move and all of a sudden the other one just steamrolls over the other one, and that's why long Terran games are just so impressive. And there is harassment going on, and I have a headache all of a sudden.
It's probably all that sugar.
Maybe I should probably have cut down on that and gotten... I should probably have some of the beef jerky, get some protein in my body, and actually balance out my blood sugar, most likely. I probably have way too much glucose, insulin, various chemicals in my body. Alright. Anyway, second refinery going down for Starlife. Second refinery going... Double refinery. First refinery is going down for Blur for both of them. He's getting a command center really quickly. So Blur is going to go for a very economic build. Command center in one barracks command center. Very cool build. Did I just repeat myself twice?
Maybe?
I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, anyway. You want to speak?
No, you want me to. Both players got both of their gases, and it's kind of interesting for a one Rax into CC build. So that's going to be pretty heavy on tech, but we'll see what he does with it. Could be Banshees. We are going to see a factory coming down. May see a starport. We already have the starport down for Starlife. And it looks like he's going to swap it onto his tech lab. So we may be actually seeing Banshees from both players. Certainly a possibility.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see if Starlife scans and sees the expansion and then decides to go for a really hardcore attack. That might be the way he wants to go. Though it seems that Blur is fairly content to just stay in his base with his command center, though he might float it off as he just finished his orbital command. He's actually going to call down the mule inside of his main instead of using it at his natural. Generally, you want to actually have your natural mine out really as fast as possible as opposed to your main, so you can have a double base income for as long as possible. This is one of the subtle nuances of the game that can be utilized in your favor, but it does not seem that Blur is going to decide to go for that route, it seems.
We do have Cloak on the way for Starlife, but we already have missile turrets being put down at the mineral lines for Blur. So we'll see how well Starlife can find holes in detection here.
Yeah, Blur's missile turret placement for the expansion will leave the right side of his of that base very open, and it's going to be much better in his main base as he's got the two missile turrets there spaced out very well. However, I think actually in the middle, if Stalife ends up putting his Banshee on hold position in the top middle, he might be able to siege these 3 mineral patches if he positions that correctly.
We do have the first Banshee coming out here.
Yes, we do. It is about to complete. I forgot my overlay. It's back now, so we're good. Banshee is completed. It's going to start walking around over there. The second Banshee, actually. The first Banshee is cloaked and being thwarted by this Viking. Siege mode is being researched by Blur, is getting siege tank, so it looks like we will have tank Viking. Reactor barracks is producing Marines. So really, Blur right now just wants to play it very, very safe. He's going to play very defensive and not even move out until Stalife probably has to start trying to get his own expansion, because Stalife might be forced to go for a win just off this one base.
Yep, he actually did a supply drop right now. Continuing to produce Banshees.
Yeah, so now is he going to get a Raven out as well? Because if you get the Raven out with those Banshees and get a point defense drone, that could really nullify these Vikings in the killing of these Banshees.
Yep, he actually healed up that Banshee with that SCV there at the watchtower. Able to repair them. Now 2 of them going to fly off here. Maybe just looking for more holes. Maybe try to pick off a siege tank or 2. That would be very, very helpful.
Yeah, he's really got to do that, as Stalife is getting to be very behind in terms of economy, though he's actually ahead in the food count. If you look at the unit counting station, we do see that Blur does have 2 more SCVs than Stalife, but Stalife does not have a second command center. He's just been producing SCVs straight from that one.
Yep, and we have a small force of Marines and Marauders headed towards his offensive watchtower here. But
yes,
there are already 3 siege tanks here, so I don't see him being able to break it. There's also a bunker in place, so it's going to be very, very difficult for Stalife.
Yeah, Blur's turtled in very effectively, and Stalife is only just now placing down his natural expansion after realizing he can't put any pressure on the Blur right now. We do have this Banshee coming in. They're going to start picking off some units. Might actually get that tank before the tank can unsiege and escape. That is going to be really close, and oh, that tank stays alive. That is actually huge. Stalife needs to do some damage. And instead, he loses the Banshee.
Loses the Banshee. Of course, that missile turret detection range further than its attack range. That is very important to note.
Yeah, definitely. And also, anybody who plays against Terrans, you have to realize that the scan sees a lot farther than that little circle-y, whirring radar type icon. That's a really terrible way to put that. I apologize. But yeah, the whole point
Scan gives you more vision than the animation shows.
That is a much better way to put it. I thank you for your intelligence. Yes. I think I'm the master of sounding very awkward when I'm delirious.
I think we all sound pretty awkward when I'm delirious. I mean, I've casted for double digits as well, and it wears on you.
Yeah, especially when I'm
stresses the mind.
Yeah, and I'm crashing from caffeine and sugar at the same time. It's a bad combination. Alright, but now here we go. That scouting SCV does see Stalife moving out with these forces to the watchtower. Stalife does have some medevacs out. So something to note, though, is that Stalife, even with this very late expansion, is really not far in the food count. However, he's got a finesse army versus the strength army of Blur. Stalife has Marines and Marauders, does not have very many tanks out. In fact, doesn't have any tanks out or tank capabilities quite yet. So he's got to just use his army forces very economically and effectively, while Blur can just slowly move up, siege in, and destroy everything in one shot.
Ooh, and Stalife using his Cloak Banshee here to drive Blur's army back. May even pick off a tank here.
Yeah, but look at this. Blur going to deal effectively with that little finesse push in the back that StarLife tried to do. And now StarLife loses that Banshee, which is something that he cannot afford to do. He is behind almost 30 in the Fukai. And here you have a big engagement in the front. Siege Tanks in the front for Blur. So Siege Tanks were just given freely to StarLife. However, StarLife is losing a lot because of all these Marines. Look at that entire Marine death ball going up against Blur's army. StarLife is going to be in a very tough spot after this. In
Yeah,
fact,
it's not even going to matter. Marines actually beat Marauders in terms of DPS. Marauders are only good in that they can DPS down those siege tanks a little bit faster. But to deal with these Marine numbers, you actually need that AoE from siege tanks, and he does not have any. So I think Blur's going to actually take game one here right now, as he's about to take down that natural command center.
yeah, and StarLife is trying to do a counterattack, moving up north because that's all he can do right now. But Blur, it just are there any siege tanks out for? Nope, no siege tanks. In fact, StarLife's factory is just floating around, and StarLife says GG.